If you've ever been down 2 levels early like this, or even been the same level as someone, the question is, how can I then catch up in experience and take the lead on it? You know, like maybe I'm level 8 to his level 7. Or how can I maximize my experience to get a 2-level lead every single game? This is probably the most important thing about jungling that junglers simply do not understand, but it really is simple to execute. It takes a very, very small twist in how you play the game, and it can give you the experience and gold advantage necessary to carry win and climb at the end of the season and the start of Season 15. Okay, so just to introduce the problem and why this is important is because when you are playing end of season, you need a little bit more pressure, right? And the Nidalee here is doing a red quadrant, red, Krugs, Raptors, knowing that the Graves is starting on the top side, at least very much anticipating it. So what we're gonna do here, move on over, ward this sucker up, look bottom lane for the gank instead of counter jungling, because pressure, right? Take away the Graves' option to gank. We love this route, it's a classic route. It always does good things with good ganking junglers. Spear hits, but we'll auto attack and shift and swipe the Kai'Sa. Nice kill, right? Now, the Graves is too late for him to vertical at this stage. That's why this gank is so nice. Also, we know that the Graves might look to move down and collapse in the Ashe here, compromising his own sequence. At this point, I think the Graves should anticipate that the Nidalee could still be around in the vicinity. I don't know if you should full send it here for a potential gank because while Kai'Sa's showing up again, it's full wave. Pyke's already taking all of the damage to Tahm Kench. If Nidalee is here, it's a waste of time. It's better just to maximize your own experience. Finish your full clear, get you 28 CS, right? And as a quick note, don't forget Virkayu.gg is having mega sales for the end of the season. Go ahead and get the courses and information and tips you need to reach those peaks and set yourself up for Season 15 success. Also, everything will have Season 15 updates coming as soon as possible at the start of the year. And if you need a new practice tool to get your mechanics good and juicy, Skill Gap is the one to go to. Links for both of these will be in the description below. Improve and get better with the only 2 things you need as a jungler to reach your peaks as fast as possible. Nidalee does a good job shadowing that, anyway, because she sees he doesn't go to blue. That's the biggest thing. She cuts across mid lane. Graves is going to snack this sucker up. Then the Graves is going to snack this sucker up, right? So nothing really lost from the Graves, and his bottom lane's retracting. Obviously, when you get hit by this plant, you notice the Tahm Kench as well, because we saw Nidalee go to the top side, and if you would have not noticed, she doesn't double scuttle, she took a scuttle, rotates to Baguette, says bonjour, and makes sure that she falls. Here's where things get spicy. We're gonna go back to base in this bush. I want you to remember this, and the next example has something very, very similar, actually. Wait, almost identical. Interesting. It's true, you'll see. The Nidalee is gonna go back to base here. The Grave sees that. Now he's going in here. This is where he's just risking too much, right? Bottom lane, based, Tahm Kench, Ashe in the area. What are we looking to do here? Wasting time, wasting time. Why is he doing this? Think about this. What could possibly motivate him to sit in this bottom quadrant knowing Nidalee started here? Because 90% of junglers will anticipate that when you do something like the Nidalee, a quadrant, a gank, you cut across, you do something else, whatever, you're gonna fall back to this camp, right? Or this quadrant, because you go 1, 2, 3. Yes. These are all level 1 camps. They're not high value. And because I'm down a whole bunch of CS to the Graves, who's now level 4, if he takes my respawn camps here, level 4 Krugs, and this should be a level 5 Raptor camp because it's spawning late enough, but obviously it could be level 4 if you clear them quicker. Regardless, there are higher level experience camps to snack, right? There's more experience per level. Gold's the same, but you really want to have that experience. I'll talk more about that in the next example to explain it a bit more in depth. But from the Nidalee's perspective, I'm level 3, dude's level 4. If he bases and just full sequences down again, I'm really screwed, right? In terms of how I'm going to match up against the Graves. So what I want to make sure I can do here is take my higher level camp on the Krugs, my high level camp on the Raptors, and then I can look for action again, or I can just straight up full sequence and clear this quadrant if necessary, right? Depending on what we want to accomplish. The Graves just thinks the Nidalee's going to go here, and that's his mistake. Also, this whole thing's a mistake anyway. So much time is being wasted on this. There's Nidalee not even expecting it. Like, really, you could be here right now, going all the way down, right? He's finishing this, and he's going to hit this right afterwards. Nidalee now is worried, hey, he's going to steal my camps. So a little mislead from the Graves there, which does help, but, you know, he ends up actually doing the smart thing, which is just going to take his higher level camps. But the Nidalee did the right thing, focusing on higher tier camps, putting her in a position to match up with the CS and match up in the levels. We'll be level 5 after the grump here. Boom! Graves, level 4. She just maximized her second sequence here, despite not full clearing first, and the Graves is now down in levels, right? And swapping sides. So the Nidalee can basically invest a little bit more into an objective. Maybe some counter jungling here. Maybe just ganks and cut-throughs to protect, again, anything that might respawn down here. But we don't have anything to worry about from the Nidalee perspective. And the Graves is now going to slingshot with his quadrant here. But look at this. His pathing is suboptimal, it's compromised. And Nidalee now, after this, when we see the Graves down here, I mean, solid gank, cool. Never seen a Tahm Kench die in my life. Wow, amazing, he actually dies. Right? Nidalee has cut across just to protect her camps here. Probably could have counter jungled and snowballed the top lane. But really none of that matters because Graves is level 5, halfway to 6, and she's level 6. She has a 10 CS lead, she's going to balloon that. How does this work if 1, the Graves does exactly what he's meant to do, not what he did here, and 2, if you are down maybe 2 levels to the Graves, and you need to actually swing back that advantage to take over the game and take an experience advantage into the mid game. That's our next core example explaining how and why it's important to understand this principle. And also, how simple it really is. Okay, I'll let you guess the MMR of this particular example. We are obviously against the Yarvin over here. We have the Warwick starting in the red. They had a bit of meeting of minds in the river, so they know where they're both starting. Warwick is going to go into the reverse clear, something I explained quite in detail in the last video. I'll leave a link to that below. It helps you really set up the map in a better way, but mostly if you want maximized experience, it adjusts your timers in a pretty cool way. So, Kaisi gets a kill here, Pyke dies. What you're going to see is, we know that Jarvan's full clearing to the top. Warwick's going to want to reverse clear down for this action, deep vision, potential counter jungling, and obviously a dive. But with that lead, and Pyke roaming to the top side, we F-key, we see Garen has been shoved out. Watch this, there's the full trade again, nicely done. Warwick will now follow the Pyke through for a dive. We know Jarvan is here, right? We see him. Don't hedge, don't wait, full commit, full send. You've got your E, damage reduction. There we go, we'll flash to get the fear. Auto attack Q through. Perfectly tanked, emotes. Everyone's happy, right? From the Jarvan's perspective, you know that the Warwick is gonna have to go back to base. Now the Warwick could look to go ahead and just do this, but the question is, from his perspective, Warwick's perspective, what if the Jarvan loops back around, right? Like, you're not gonna sit here and go, oh, thanks, because the Jarvan can always just loop back around and kill you. So what you're just gonna do is go back to base and assume that the Jarvan will try and go ahead and take the top scuttle. So what Warwick does is, and this is where the big deficit is coming, okay? We're already down 8 CS. Gonna go for the bottom scuttle. Unfortunately, he smites thinking he's in the free. Guess who's gonna show up? Jarvan gets it. Full trade, level 4 to level 3. Both have long swords, but the initial burst damage plus the fact that he got the level up, or he already had level 4, so that's huge for Warwick, right? This is not a good start. Jarvan now can easily fall back to his respawn grump, 4 minutes 20 or so. This will spawn around 435 to 445 depending on how quickly you did it. And now the Warwick is going to go, well, what do I do? Because I got 2 long swords and nothing else. From the Jarvan's perspective, Warwick, it's understandable that he did blue quadrant plus red because we saw him with double buffs and 16 CS on the top lane, right? Which means the Warwick being down here equals he needs to do these camps, right, before he cuts up. That's what the Jarvan's thinking. Both are level 1 camps, however, that's the thing. Level 1, they have not been taken. When you are in this kind of situation, as a Warwick, you noticed, okay, look, I'm down 12 CS now. Jarvan's going to take the Grump, all right? Jarvan's going to take the Wolves. You're going to be down 20 CS already at 5 minutes. So you snack this baby up, obviously, with the intent of going back to your Grump and Wolves. These will be level 5 and level 5, all right? That's a benefit of a reverse clear. You have level 5 camps show up. Here's the thing. The Jarvan could easily cut and do this, cut and counter jungle and take away, or cut and go down. Now, most Jarvans in this particular stage, most junglers, as you saw from the Graves, will assume that they're going to go and do the level 1 camps, which is incorrect. So Warwick decides to make a calculated decision. I let him go ahead and boom. This is from the intro, from the thumbnail. Level 5, level 3. This is not a fight you want to take, all right? You don't want to take it. Yes, Akali is coming back from the lane as well, from base as well, so that also means you definitely don't want to do it. The Warwick now will be forced to go to his camps, top side, down. Jarvan will finish off his second full rotation. Needs to track his camps a little better. 44 CS, 5 minutes 49. 24 CS, 5 minutes 49. How do you then get a lead, a slingshot, by maximizing your experience and doing what the Nidalee did, but obviously here the Jarvan's in a much better position. The Jarvan though, this is very important, okay? Look, yes, the Scuttle Crab is taken, but you can't do this anymore, right? You will be envisioned, you will be seen. it is known, right? That trick doesn't work anymore. So he reveals himself. Now, like the Graves in the first example, the Graves did the full clear, right? And then try to do weird stuff. If he just reset and did the full second clear, we'd be in the same situation as this. Huge lead over the Nidalee. Here's where things get a little interesting. The Jarvan's going to do the same sin as the Graves, but after the second rotation. Now he's thinking, okay, where's Warwick? What's Warwick doing? Look at this. Walks over the control board. Warwick just says, look, I'm behind. I'm screwed a little bit, but I'm going to focus on my level 5 camps. Then I will take these camps, okay, to maximize my experience. Jarvan is now, I don't know what he's doing. The Warwick's just thinking, look, guy, you have free grubs. Obviously, Jax is there, so it's not really free. Pyke is roaming, so again, not really free. But the Warwick was willing to give these up to focus on his own experience maximization, to get that level lead that he so desires. Jarvan now feels desperate, much like the Graves against Nidalee. Okay, I've done my full clear. You know, there's nothing else I can do. Can't do this. Have to cut down for this, but I know Warwick is cutting down for this. What do I do? So you're forced into an action. So he decides to gank in the mid lane here. This is a solid action. Obviously, the Warwick sees this. Finish this. Go. He should have rotated sooner, but it's fine. There you go. Watch the trades. Boom. Again. Runs in. Fear. Free kill. Saves the Silas. Huge. Now, what you can obviously do is think about going for the counter jungling moment. That's an obvious way to get back in the game, right? To slingshot your experience. The obvious way is to go ahead and do this. But you know that the Seraphine is right here. Again, a Kali will be coming out of base. And while Kites is here, Pyke isn't. Pyke is dead. He's 0-4 actually, worth noting. So what Warwick does is say, fine, I'm going to hit that just to get some vision and see what's up. Then I'm going to take my red. Okay, remember, we were down 20 CS. That singular rotation, that singular dead moment, cost the Jarvan everything. He's up 5 CS. Whoop-de-doo. Because Warwick just focused on his highest level camps and went all the way down, that's the juice, right? And just to go back quickly, there's no catch-up experience involved here. Look at the experience bar on the bottom left. He's almost level 4, all right? This is a level 5 Grump. Watch what it does. Boom! Halfway to level 5. There's no catch-up experience here. What this is, my friends, is simply more experience in the level 5 camp and the lower experience requirements to level up at the early levels showing themselves in full force. That's why when you see these swings, it's understandable that a level 3 to level 5 looks bad, but it's really not that bad. When you look at a level 12 to level 10, that's a huge amount of experience in total, right? So look at this now, boom. Finish these off. Still not level 5, the babies were not valuable. Now we'll get level 5 from this. But we're about 1 minute and 25 seconds behind tempo. So what happens is now, Warwick decides to take his red and go back to base. Again, we have offset some of that 20 CS lead. We've rotated nicely. Now we have Tiamat. You give this up. You say, look, guy, you want to spend your time doing dragon? Do the dragon. Because again, we're still behind a little bit, right? We're still behind a little bit. So the Warwick now says, all right, what I could do, because I know he's on this, is counter jungle the full quadrant, look to dive this and so on. That is definitely a great play. But then assess what you value most in your champion, on your win conditions. 3 grubs here looks pretty good and juicy. You could always just counter jungle and come back to the grubs, but why really when you can easily just get level 6 on this, control this nicely, and you will feel less stress and forced to go into his jungle to take his camps when you can go down and take all of yours. Let's now look at the beautiful nature of this. The Jarvan has done his Grump, level 6 Wolves, level 6 Raptors, level 7 Red Buff, and a level 7 Krug camp. Over here we have level 6, level 7, level 7, level 7, and in theory should be level 7, level 7. So the Warwick has higher level camps than the Jarvan across the board on average. And remember, the higher level the camp is, the more experience you get. While the gold does remain the same throughout, the added experience is what you're looking for. So if your camps can spawn quicker, faster, higher levels, and you can loop that, that's how you get those experience advantages, as well as, of course, denying camps for counter jungling and such things. But as you can see in this situation where the Warwick's going to have less CS than the Jarvan, it's all about the experience optimization. So we're going to do that whole thing. We know that the Jarvan, again, after the dragon, is going to do all of this, path all the way to the top side. We have the base here from the Pyke, Cinematic Ash era as always. He shows up in vision again. Let him have it. We're down 12 CS, but he's finished his clear. So you're catching up, right? He's finished his clear, but because there's nothing to do because you took away the grubs and your top lane is going back to base from the gank you gave him early, you are able now to full sequence down to catch up that experience. The Jarvan is forced to wander the high seas looking for something, And we're going to snack this baby up. Level 7 camp there. Finish the orders. Boom, level 8. We see Jarvan. Going to show up here. Hello, sir. Level 7. Boom. Boom. Guys, you know, almost there. And Warwick is just over the top. So it's not a big lead. But consider that we were level 3 to level 5. You look at that, you're thinking, man, it's doomed. How do I get back into this? By simply understanding that the level of your camps dominate the conversation and allow you to really slingshot back up and get leads. Whether you're behind 2 levels or you're the same level looking to get a 2-level lead, this is how you do it. Now imagine this again from the Warwick's perspective. All of these will spawn a little bit later due to the reverse clear effect, and again be higher level than the Jarvan. So we know it's warded here. Warwick is just chilling. Press W, you see the smoke there. We're just shadowing the Kai'Sa to have her go back to base. We'll clear this vision. Jarvan will feel again a little stressed to do this. And he's running away. He's like, wait, whoa. Gold amount, he's up 400, obviously. Got 2 kills versus 2 assists, but everything else is equal. Everything else is straight up equal. And what this will lead to is regular early game, regular end of the early game, regular mid game, and ultimately a nice little fight around this dragon. Warwick is finishing off this. We see this over here. We know that they're on the dragon. We have vision. Again, he's almost level 12. Warwick is level 12, so that lead has been maintained since level 8 to level 7. Obviously, both junglers have had some different fights. You know, Jarvan 612, Warwick's 322, but Warwick has more CS now, 8 more CS. Remember, he was still down a bunch of CS at that level 8 to level 7 moment. And if you subtracted the fact that he had 6 CS from Grubs and Jarvan had 4 CS from the Dragon only, the Warwick was down a couple camps. But because he optimized his clears at good moments and didn't waste time with things that would have just not helped him whatsoever, boom, here we are. Now we see the Jarvan. We're priming our E for no particular reason. I'm not sure why. Jarvan's then gonna, well, EQ over. Warwick's like, well, you guys do that. I'm gonna finish this off quickly. And he does have his ult up, so Jarvan moves back to Warwick, which gives him an out, and he dies. So, yeah. Gold amount is 8,100 for Warwick, 8,100 for Jarvan. We're normalized. And now we can just play regular, good old-fashioned, win the game through macro and late game strategies. Remember, this is exactly what you want to do every game, whether you have a lead, you're behind. Always look to maximize experience, understand jungle pressure points, and if you need a bit more advice on what exactly that means and how to carry, the video on your screen now will definitely give you the knowledge.